2. Questions about Temple of Literature. 1. How had Vietnamese people learned before the school was built? Before the school was built, Vietnamese people learned at pagodas with monks, at localities with Confucian scholars or old men, at families with parents, grandparents. 2. When, why, and by whom the Temple of Literature was built. The Temple of Literature was built in 1070 under the rule of King Ly Thanh Tong to worship Confucius-A, great philosopher of the world. He was Chinese and considered as one the greatest thinker in the world along with Socrates, Plato, Aristotle. In 1076, King Ly Nhan Tong built a school next to the temple to teach princes, princesses, and Mandarin's children called Quoc Tu Giam, means take care and teach the children of king, Royality and Madarins. Then in 1253, King Tran Tong expanded the school and received excellent students from common class. This school trained and taught a lot of talents and mandarins for feudal dynasties, so it was called the first university of Vietnam. 3. Who were accepted to learn at the temple, all or some qualified students? Who were hung exam, hoi exam, din exam and doctor, Royal Academy students. 3.1. Who were accepted to learn at the temple, all or some qualified students? Initially, under the rule of King Ly Nhan Tong, the temple was used to teach only princes, princesses, and Mandarin's children called Quoc Tu Giam, means take care and teach the children of king, Royality and Madarins. Then in 1253, King Tran Nhan Tong expanded the school and received excellent students from common class. This school trained and taught a lot of talents and mandarins for feudal dynasties, so it was called the first university of Vietnam. 3.2. Hung exam, hoi exam and din exam and doctor, Royal Academy students in feudal dynasties. There were 3 exams in feudal dynasties in the past, including Hung exam, hoi exam and din exam. 1. Hung exam. This exam had 4 rounds and was held in each province. When examinees passed all 4 rounds, they would have the permit to take part in the next exam. 2. Hoi exam. This exam was for examinees who passed the hung exam. Hoi exam also had 4 rounds and held in the capital equal to the central exam. If examinees passed all 4 rounds, they would have the right to take part in din exam. If they only passed 3 or 2 rounds, they would be received into the Royal Academy to study and wait for the next exam. 3. Din exam. This exam was the final exam in the exam system of feudal dynasties. This exam had only 1 round and was held in the court under supervision of the king. If examinees passed this exam, they would be recognized as doctors and their name would be carved on the stela of the Temple of Literature. 4. What did students learn at the shul? Subjects, books, writing script, etc. Students mainly studied Confucianism, such as 4 books and 5 classics. Besides, they also studied literature, poetry, laws, and court rituals. 5. Why were turtles used as pedestals for the stone stela? What is the significance of the stone stela at the temple? How many stone stela have ever been built at the temple? How many of those stela exist nowadays? Why were turtles used as pedestals for the stone stela? These stela was carved with names of doctors who passed doctoral exams during feudal dynasties for the purpose of honoring their achievements. Turtle is one of 4 holy creatures in Vietnamese culture, and turtle represents the permanence, so these stela standing on the back of turtle imply that the doctors' honor and achievement will exist forever. What is the significance of the stone stela at the temple? The stone stela is the most precious objects of the temple because their content show for us about history, culture, politic and economic background throughout Vietnamese feudal dynasties. Thereby, they was recognized as the World Documentary Heritage by UNESCO in 2010. How many stone stela have ever been built at the temple? How many of those stela exist nowadays? Historical experts estimated that there were 91 stela, but there were 9 stela lost, so there are just 82 still existing nowadays. 6. Present the temple's functions in different historical periods and nowadays. The Temple of Literature was built in 1070 under the rule of King Ly Thanh Tong to worship Confucius-A, great philosopher of the world. He was Chinese and considered as one the greatest thinker in the world along with Socrates, Aristotle, Plato. In 1076, King Ly Nhan Tong built a school next to the temple to teach princes, princesses, and mandarins. Children called Quoc Tu Giam means take care and teach the children of king, Royality and Madarins. Then in 1253, King Tran Tong expanded the school and received excellent students from common class. This school trained and taught a lot of talents and mandarins for feudal dynasties, so it was called the first university of Vietnam. In the early 19th century, Nguyen dynasty built anew the Temple of Literature in Hue New capital, and this construction became the School of Hai Duc district. In French colonial period, 1883 to 1945, French used this construction to train soldiers, as a temporary hospital and playground for children. In 1954, after taking over Hanoi, Vietnamese authorities restored the temple many times until now. 8. What do you know about Confucius? What are the main contents of his ideology and philosophy? How did the ideology and philosophy affect Vietnam and Asian countries? What do you know about Confucius? Confucius, 551 to 479 BC. He was a Chinese philosopher and considered as one of the greatest thinker in the world along with Socrates, Plato, Aristotle. He created Confucianism, and Confucianism influences all aspects of society from lifestyle, behavior, beliefs, morality, law to society structure in East Asia, including China, Japan, Korea, Singapore, Taiwan, and Vietnam. The golden principle in his philosophy was, don't do to others what you don't want others do to you. What are the main contents of his ideology and philosophy? 8 criteria for men in feudal society. 1. 3 moral bonds. King and subject. Subject must be always loyal to the king in any situations, and even if the king tells the subject to die, the subject will obey. Father and child. Children are always filial to their parents and obey them. Husband and wife. Husband and wife must be harmonious and love each other. 2. 5 constant virtues. Kindness. People have to the humanity, love, help and affection for everyone and everything around them. Decorum. People have to respect others and follow rules and standards of Confucianism and society. Uprightness. People have to be just and fair in their deeds and words. Wisdom. People have always to study to widen the mind and improve the understanding. Trust. People have to keep trust to build credit and avoid deception and trickery. B criteria for women. 1. 3 subjections of women. Woman to dad. When at home, woman must obey her dad. Woman to her husband. When married, woman must obey her husband. Woman to her son. When husband dies, woman must obey her son. 2. 4 virtues of women. Work. Being good and skillful at what they do. Appearance. Taking care and paying attention to manner and beauty. Speech. Paying attention to words and making them pleasant to hear. Virtue. Cultivating and maintaining virtue, good and gentle character, getting along well with everyone around. How did the ideology and philosophy affect Vietnam and Asian countries? 1. Vietnam. Confucianism has affected deeply all aspects of Vietnamese society, including culture. Confucianism has shaped a lot of Vietnamese value of morality, lifestyle, and thoughts like family bond, communal bond, studiousness, respecting talents and discreet character. Politics. Confucianism provide principles and thoughts for ruling and controlling society during feudal period. It was the loyalty to the king, putting the interests of the country and nation above all else. Education. Dignifying the role of education and training talents, dignifying the role of teachers in society, and everyone extremely respects them. There is a famous saying, someone who teaches you a word is your teacher, even half a word is still a teacher. Beliefs and customs. Confucianism has affected strongly the customs, traditions, and rituals of Vietnamese people, such as ancestor worship, historical figures worship, respecting the elderly, the taboo in eating, dressing, and manner. 2. Other Asian countries. Confucianism has affected deeply culture, politics, society, and education of some Asian countries like China, Korea, Japan, Taiwan, Singapore. People in these countries have the studious tradition, identify the role of the teacher, worship ancestor, have discreet and delicate character. A good example for this thing, there are many Confucius temples in these countries.